This is the problem with old head over there. He's still living in the goddamn 60s and 70s, jucking and jiving in a goddamn disco club with a fro, pulling hoes left and right. It's all great, it's all fun. He's got game and he's macking on him. That shit is not the reality today. The reason men are leaving is because there is no more pulling hoes in clubs like that anymore. There's no more everybody is just chill. Everybody has got some character. Everybody is friendly. So here's where we get into the passport bro stuff. So they're already shaming. I told you guys before. Yeah, predator eyes. So we got another one here. Passport bros accused of tourism, So I was trying to get the guy to come on for the show, but he lives all the way in Thailand now, and the hour difference is like 14, 15 hours, something like that. It's just hard to get a hold of people. And so they're already shaming him for passport bros. I told you guys this on the last stream that 2023 was going to be the year of this stuff, of men starting to wake up and plan for a life outside of their country. Well, let's see.
Back to the Factor Uncensored. Is sex in your travel itinerary? It's one of the travel goals for a community called the Passport Bros, meaning...
And I told you guys that this is going to start getting shamed. I told you that when this happens in enough numbers, the government is going to start coming after people, because voting with your feet, that's money directly out of the system that does not get to circulate there anymore.
Brothers. It's a traveling community of upwardly mobile black men. Some are accused of going...
And they're making it about race. Pay attention. It's now a black man thing. We just saw an OG passport bro talking about it, about his experience there 9 years. And now they're going to make this a racial thing. They're going to put tension into it. They're going to say men are doing a bunch of abominable things. But when a woman does it, it's called sex tourism. When a woman does it, it's called empowering. You go, queen, older woman, and find you a young stud.
Around the world searching for a more traditional and submissive wife. But is it all about sex and just a girlfriend for hire and then return home to humiliate black women in America? That's the controversy that we're dealing with. One of its members, Austin Holman, is apologizing for comments that he made about Brazilian women. Take a listen.
What I meant by when I said that Brazilian women are easy, and I shouldn't use the word easy. I know that now. I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is, for a man that's well-mannered, well-dressed, that has put in the effort to raise himself, he will have an easier time in Brazil, as opposed to where I was from. That wasn't always the case.
Both American and women around the world are speaking out against the passport bros, arguing these guys are using their status to take advantage of women and even calling it a form of sex tourism and sex trafficking. Let's talk about it. Communications specialist Priscilla Pack and Rochelle Gemini both are here on The Factor Uncensored. We were supposed to do this last week. We're doing it this week. You have done a lot of research. When you think about and what you've heard about passport bros, your opinion on this so-called group?
Let me tell you, they weren't even on my radar. You brought it up to me, and then I saw it, and I was just like, oh, that's cute. Guys go and get their passports. My son just got his passport last week. He's 9. So that's cool. Passport brothers. That's what's up. Then I started doing the research, and I'm like, wait a minute. Because I grew up, with 2-parent household. My parents still happily married. I grew up in love. Some people grew up in survival mode, and maybe they just in a whole nother dimension of trying to find love or trying to find easy situations and everything. But at the same time, it was like, why do you have to put down the thing that you don't like in front of everybody just to get the thing that you do want? I don't care. But
that being black women in America, putting them down for women who may be of color in another country.
Right. That want to be a little more
also submissive
to
them.
Exactly.
But also paid prostitution in many cases.
And that's what they covering up. And you can tell that by the way that, what's his name, Austin?
You see, here we go. You see what I mean? It's already prostitution in her eyes, right? So what about that white guy? That's a perfect example of that past episode that we did with the Filipina P, because it just shows a man living there to take his dollar further and happens to be doing well in the dating market. Now, all of a sudden, angry woman here has to shame any man, right? Now it's any man that travels overseas, even if you're trying to take your dollar further. You're a little predator, dude, that's looking to do God knows what to local women. That's now the default. We've already seen it on TikTok. Ryan, oh, they brought the whales in. LOL, shocked. It's already begun. The shaming language has already started because this is an option that they can't stop. If a man chooses to just walk out completely on the dating game here in the West, he can. That doesn't work the same for women. Imagine these two trying to compete with whatever foreign woman that the man's leaving for, dude. No. There's no competition. The other ones are skinny. They are submissive. They're in better shape. They probably cook and clean. They do all the things women in the West would consider slave work. I'm not trying to be a slave to no man.
Was talking because I saw the other videos of him going like, hey, you would have sexual intercourse with me tonight, right? And she's saying, yes. They about to really get a lick on him. That's what's really about to happen. Because I also saw some of the women from overseas saying, yeah, we're just trying to get a lick. You know, they also came out saying, we know these passports.
Yes, so generalize all women now, because we saw some videos of women saying, yeah, we're trying to get a lick. Yeah, you mean prostitutes, professional workers. Of course, they're going to try to sleep with foreigners. They pay a lot. Are you making the assumption that all foreign women are trying to sell their bodies to foreigners? Isn't that going against women empowerment? Are we not we're debasing women now? Foreign women are just sex sellers. Isn't that misogyny?
Misogyny.
Oh my God.
Bros, they not new.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, they're chumps themselves.
Yes.
They're simply Johns on the streets of America.
There might be some that might be actually looking for love that can't find it maybe in America, but you didn't let some rotten apples into y'all group, and y'all need to call the ones out that's not doing it correctly. Because
what group? This isn't a group. This isn't a movement. This isn't really nothing. It's just getting a passport. You're legally all allowed to get a passport and travel the world. Some men choose to travel for different reasons. But do you see guilty by association? I've told you guys. Now, because one or two guys may make the news for whatever, God knows what happens in the future, it's all men do this now. Always your fault. You're always to blame, even when somebody else does something, if anything even happens. Imagine that.
Because, baby, we not just in America. You can claim wherever you want to be, anytime. I don't care. Get a passport. Go find your love. But at the same time, don't put down us just because you feel like you've had some rejection.
There it is. That's the issue they have, right? So men are traveling overseas, and when they get asked, well, why'd you travel overseas? And then you say, hey, well, I just like the women here. They're better. Oh, how are they better? Then they list ways they think they're better. And they go, well, what was wrong with women in America? And then a man just stating his preferences. I don't like how loud they are. I don't like how masculine they become. A lot of them don't know how to cook or clean. A lot of them are combative. I want a more compliant woman. I want women that care about children more. If you say anything of that nature, you're a hater. You're tearing us down. You're a misogynist. But you tell that to somebody in a foreign country, a foreign woman, they go, oh, yeah, that's common sense. Yeah, I want a family too. Yeah, I want a man to lead me. What do you mean? He's a man. Yeah, I want all the things you want as a man. Duh.
Rejection, heal. Go do your thing. We don't care.
And of course, we're not talking about all individuals who may travel out of the country. But Priscilla, for those who may be taking advantage of women out there and then trying to humiliate black women in America, your thoughts about that?
I think it's really, really sad. Like, I look at them and I almost want to pity them, but then I don't, because there's a level of ignorance that's deplorable. Go ahead and use that word today. I think that they are taking advantage, at least from what they project themselves to be as a group. They're taking advantage of gender gaps and economic opportunities that are not there in these other countries that are present for us in America, in the States, in Canada, in Scandinavia, all over the world, and not even thinking back to the history of why are women and people made to be so independent in this country today. I think there's so many factors that they shove to the side for their preferences and trying to deem it a movement, which is so disappointing to hear. The civil rights movement was a movement.
Facts.
You know, anti-apartheid movement was a movement.
Come on.
So I'm thinking,
nobody calls it a movement, bro. It's a trend. It's just men making decisions to leave of all races. It's not about you. Well, it is technically about you, but you and the entire sisterhood of all colors. It's a trend. Men are saying the dating market here sucks and I'm out. Later. Foreign women are better. It's a foreign woman versus Western woman issue. And men, based on the trend they see here and where the West is progressing, choose to leave. Not a movement. We're not out in the streets marching. We don't all get together in a place and talk about strategies and how to get there. Sure, some men may have a Discord or whatever, and they talk about their experiences moving to XYZ country, but we're not all, we're not some secret dungeon, dude, all planning and scheming how to take advantage. It's just regular dudes who are sick of the system that they're living in, that doesn't show them any love, where they can't get ahead, where they can't retire. They're going to die working. Or you can take your money somewhere else. You can take your chances to another country. You can create roots in a place that's better suited for you.
Of passport bros, like, this is a shame. You could really take advantage of your opportunity to educate people on how to get a passport, to go overseas, travel the world, and to learn, and not just make it be about sex. And the fact that now you're putting this stigma on people and black people in America, that is literally mushing us down. I hate that I said mushing, couldn't find a better word right there. But like bringing us down, they all know, they know. But what does that do for our perspective?
Them talk some of them, not all of them, talk so badly about black women in America, saying you guys are too bossy, you're too much, you're not.
By the way, I have to say this. It's a goddamn shame that these are the same kinds of people, these women and others that were on Twitter, and they were celebrating guess whose death. And all he wanted to do is make people have better outcomes. Yeah, Kevin Samuels, you remember? The sign language. He's the one that came up with that stuff. A bunch of women were celebrating Kevin Samuels' death. You remember that? It was all over Twitter. Thank God he died. He was a misogynist. They called him a misogynist. They said he was hating on black women. You remember that? It blew my mind that this dude was just trying to change the narrative around dating culture. In his culture, and citing statistics, and showing the trends, and comparing to others that were doing better. And we're just saying, hey, how about we switch it up this way? How about we do this differently? Do you remember our great-grandparents? Do you remember our parents? Do you remember their situation, how they were doing better? How come this is the way it is today? And advocating for better outcomes, simply put. And you're happy a man passes away? How disgusting is that?
Not feminine enough for them.
I think that sounds a lot to me like insecurities and the inability to seek what you want.
So remember, you're insecure. You're also an ignoramus. You're too dumb to know what you're doing. You're taking advantage. You're a predator. Shaming language. You see this?
With what you have, where you are. That's what I really think about that. It almost disgusts me and is borderline gaslighting to sit here and treat American women, American black women, and try to shut us down because we may be educated or have the ability to obtain certain finances and social status that we're not in other countries.
And you attract.
It's a shame.
What you put out there, too.
It's a shame.
All right.
Like, don't put that on us. Yeah, don't put that on us.
Thank you, ladies, for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored.
Still ahead on the
too.
It's a shame.
Look at her.
Like, don't put that on us. Yeah, don't put that on us.
Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Look at that head shake. Queen. Totally got him. Checkmate. Let me go to Tinder and get pumped and dumped. Look at this tattoo. Come on, man. It's all your fault, boys. You nasty pigs. How dare you get a blue book? I saw it in a comment section you call Blue Book Gentleman. Change that name there. Blue Book Gentleman. It's all Jermaine's fault. What the fuck? It's ridiculous. So, okay. And then so they bring on Austin, the dude they're talking about. So then they interview him.
The Factor Uncensored. As we mentioned last night, the controversial community of passport bros continues to grow around the country. There's a private Facebook group with more than 10,000 members. Now, the group is known for a bit more than just traveling. Some guys make it their mission to fly around the world, meet more submissive women, and have sex.
Pause. So let's pause it there. So that's the underpinning of their entire argument. Men are flying overseas just to have sex, right? Cool story, bro, because I just did this on Google right before putting this episode up. Women are exploring sex tourism, and I was one of them. The rise of female sex tourism. The Rio Times. Female sex tourism. What does it mean and where does it blah, blah, blah? Female sex tourism in the Gambia. Traveling Jezebel. Clicked on this one because I was like, Gambia? Oh, of course. Check out the picture, right? Cool story. Young lady getting double chocolated. Call it that. The secrets of the smiling coast, right? And it goes on to say, you would think it's just some old balding men that do sex tourism, but this article talks about the vast amount of women that undertake this stuff. And that's some picture of look at her. Look at that. We're going willy hunting in Gambia. Look at that. Oldies, bro. Grannies are going out there to get it busted down. I'm telling you. Where are these other pictures? Varicose veins everywhere. Grandmas out in Gambia. Bust it down. All the bros on the smiling coast, they're just putting it down with willies that are not wanted over here. Where's that other one so I could show you? Look at this. Where was this? Meet the middle-aged, middle-class women that are, look, Gambia. More Gambia bros. So women have been doing this. Women do this all the time. It's being empowered in the media. The mainstream narrative says this is strong, independent boss babe moves right here. Look at that. Is Africa becoming a female sex tourism destination? Look at the hags. Look at them. So let's clear the air here on the message that men are doing this and they're being predators, okay? When are we going to say that these old women with these young boy toys, are they predators? Because you probably got to pay this man to do this as well. And I would argue the fact that these foreign travelers, the female side has to pay way more than the male side. Because when you're 50, 60 as a woman, it ain't the same as a daddy, 60-year-old daddy with silver streaks in his beard, who women prefer older men by default. No young stud prefers a 60-year-old. Pray for my mans. Hey, don't pray for my mans. Do you know how much money he's making slanging chocolate? Please. That's why he's smiling. He's rich. The dude has 2 sugar mommies. Look at the smile on that man. He's like, I gotta beat the dust off this whack shit once a day, once a week, whatever. Please, bro. He's getting paid fat. Don't be sad for him. He's taking the troubles off our chest out here. Let's go back to this.
They are facing a lot of criticism, too. Now, that's from those who critique them. My next guest, Austin Holman, said he had to end a trip in Brazil early after he was accused of being one of those guys who said Brazilian women are easy to get. We talked to him today.
Austin, what kind of damn trouble did you get yourself into with these Brazilian women?
Well, actually, I wasn't trying to start any trouble. I actually thought I was doing a lot of promoting. But apparently some things were lost. Some things were purposely lost in translation on purpose. And that it's led to death threats, and I was already on my way to Thailand anyway. I was going to be in Sao Paulo for about a week. But based off the way how things were going, I just said, you know what, I probably ought to head out 3 or 4 days earlier. So I'm over here now.
So I saw a part of your video where you said, and you clarified, you said some Brazilian women are easy. It depends on who you are, how you approach them, not as a robot, but as an individual. And when they heard that, they just went bonkers over those comments when you said that Brazilian women are easy. Some Brazilian women are easy to get. So why did you say that? Is that reality for you when you're there? Is it easier for you to get Brazilian women than, say, American women?
Yes, the culture is completely different there. So women are a lot more responsive. It's a lot more reasonable dealing with women, if you ask me. There's games everywhere, but there is such a minimal level in Brazil, it's almost unnoticeable. But the reason I said easier, and the thing is, the reason a lot of those Brazilians are in like an outrage is because number one, they're going off, they're just running. It's just like January 6th, right? Trump says do this, everybody runs and does it. That's the same thing they're doing right now. Without watching the video, without understanding what the title actually is, because the title is a question. The title says, are Brazilian women easy? That's the topic. This is what we're going to talk about. The first statement I made is, in general, they're easy to deal with. I didn't say anything about sex. I did eventually later on in the video, but I didn't lead with that because that's not all that was about. I would not move to another country and get online and call the women easy.
Did you move to Brazil? Were you living there at that point?
Yeah, I was living there.
Now you're in Thailand.
Yeah, well, I'm not living in Thailand, though. I was already going to come here anyway. I had already put up I think it was 10 or 11 countries I was going to do this year. But I just came here 4 or 5 days earlier because of everything that was going on. But Yeah, I did want to live in Brazil permanently, but I'm gonna have to let this die down first.
So there's this whole movement that we've heard about called passport bros, individuals, usually upwardly mobile African American men who leave the country, and they say they're looking for wives, different women than what they have or the choices that they have in the United States. And many people have taken offense to it, saying it's just a form of sex tourism. It's a form of human trafficking or sex trafficking. When you hear the term, do you consider yourself a passport brother? And what do you think about that so-called movement that we've been seeing as of late here in the United
trend.
States?
I would consider myself, yes. Now, I do want to state this too. People have called me the leader. I've never claimed that. That's something that they said. There's no official leader of that. I think it's just an identity of somebody that has they're traveling for that purpose, traveling to, meet new women and enjoy a different culture and a better lifestyle. Those
But really quick, for those who may say this is just a form of prostitution, you're going to different countries to pay and to have sex with women. You're not truly having a relationship with them.
That's not my reality, because I moved there. So, if I'm not going back and forth. So if anybody's going to have a relationship, it would have been me. Now, there are some dudes that do travel back and forth. There are some people do fit into those categories that they claim, but I'm not here to say that's the majority. There are men that go down there just to sleep with women. Women do the same thing too. Women do sex tourism too. But there are men that are enjoying the difference of the culture and program.
Look, this is how you know it's a hit piece. What is going on here? What the hell is this? Can someone explain to me what this crap is in the background as this man's talking? Like, let's play the dumbest shit to distract you from what he's saying.
Women in a different country.
Do you think this gives the movement a bad name, the passport bros a bad name, if your sole purpose is for sex tourism and prostitution?
Yes, and on my YouTube channel, I actually tell dudes not to go down there to deal with prostitutes, because you cannot complain about American women and then just go pay for some experience that she's getting paid. She's not. I'm not going to say it's not genuine, but I'm going to assume it's not genuine, because if you had the money, I don't think she'd treat you like that.
What is that? Why do they play that when he talks?
One of the comments you made in your video, you said it's extremely hard to find. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack when it comes to a good American woman. So are you doing harm yourself when you make comments like that?
I say that based off of the qualities that I want. And my mother used to cook for me at least twice a day when I was growing up. And I know American women say, oh, you want a mother. Well, if that's how you look at it, so be it. You should Uber Eats all your food then. But I want a woman that cooks. And the thing is, this is what a lot of people don't understand down here. As an American, 50 grand a year puts you in the top 1% of the world. So as an American, you go somewhere to another country, you have enough excess income to eat out 3 times a day in Brazil or Thailand or Colombia. You can eat out 3 times a day. So whoever my wife is, she's not even going to be cooking anyway, because when I was in the States, I cooked for myself, but I have my money multiplied 5 times when I got to Brazil. So why would I stand in the kitchen and cook when I can just go downstairs and eat and somebody make it for me? So the whole
You do know, though, Austin, there are American women who will cook for you if you're deserving of that meal.
Nope.
Well, okay, so that's the problem, though. What is deserving?
Meaning you're a good husband. You bring home the bacon, and they're bringing home the bacon together.
It sounds good.
See, this is the problem with old head over there. He's still living in the goddamn 60s and 70s, jucking and jiving in a goddamn disco club with a fro, pulling hoes left and right. It's all great. It's all fun. He's got game and he's macking on him. That shit is not the reality today. The reason men are leaving is because there is no more pulling hoes in clubs like that anymore. There's no more everybody is just chill. Everybody has got some character. Everybody is friendly. Now you approach a woman, it's toxic masculinity. You approach somebody today, that's your ass. You could go to jail. That's assault. That's a creep. That's a whatever. Think about it, man. The narrative, the entire narrative against men, just the temperature in society today of what it means to be a man and masculine is negative. The entire dating culture is not, we all go to a disco club, we all go to a bar, we all go hang out at the movies. That's dead. old man. That's not how it works these days. It's like Tinder, Instagram. People meet primarily off social media or at work today. And mostly it's led by looks on a little digital profile. If you don't have an Instagram highlight reel lifestyle, next. If you don't have a check mark, next. If you're not pulling down bank, showing some kind of status, next. If your Tinder profile isn't popping and you're either extremely handsome or rich, next. Why would you want to try your odds in a market like that? He just said 50 grand. 50 grand puts you in the top 1 percentile in Brazil and in the rest of the world. Then he moves there and he multiplies his money 5 times. So he's making 250,000, right? He's making the equivalent of 250,000 living there. The man never had to cook again in his life. He goes out and eats 3 times a day, easy. He didn't even need his woman to cook. It's a luxury. He's living a luxury lifestyle on 50,000 with people that are far more reasonable and grounded and appreciate him for his value as a man. He doesn't have to fight a woman to get her to cook. Doesn't have to fight a woman to get her to be compliant. He doesn't have to fight for any of the basics of a feminine woman. That comes by default.
It sounds good. I think at a young age I realized it wasn't like that.
Exactly.
Did you give it a chance? And how old are you now?
23.
How old?
23.
23?
This man is 23 years old. He's doing this right now. Why aren't you? Think about it.
Man, you ain't giving no damn time.
I didn't need to. I gave it 2 or 3 years, and yeah, I went to Brazil one time, and I didn't talk to anybody since I got back.
Damn.
That's when he lost my ass. 23. 23. We'll talk about it more, and we'll continue.
23, and the man is already smart enough to move overseas and multiply his money. Old head, this dude is far more intelligent than you are. He's far more woke to the real state of society than you are. Dude's disconnected. You think he's in the dating game? Please, bro.
Continue with our conversation with Austin next. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're continuing with part 2 that we began yesterday with the ladies. Don't believe we have left the ladies out. We talked to them yesterday, so look on the website to get their opinion on Passport Bros. But we continue our conversation about the Passport Bros. Austin Holman says there's a lot of misconceptions about the movement. He tells me his time overseas is not just about chasing that ass.
Beta male.
And Austin, once again, for those American women, especially Black American women who may be upset with you and the whole Passport Brother movement, Bros movement, how would you describe, would you say all women in America, some women, and are not a good fit for you, not a good choice for you? Specifically, why?
Well, to sum it up, it's not worth.
Blue Baggins, you're speaking facts, bro. I spent 8 years living in Eastern Europe like a king. I wish I'd have done it at 23. I didn't make it out fully until 33. Congrats, brother. You see what I mean? All over the world, boys. Maximize the dollar.
Using the mental capacity to find. They're out there in the United States. They're out there. Somebody already got them. You know, they're not. Perfect. They're not in abundance. And overseas, they're in abundance, especially in Brazil. Perfect. But a problem with U.S. women, number one is, we've talked about this a lot, masculinity. Okay? When I'm not going to get too deep into this one, but just one thing, I don't like it when women call me bro. I've never been called bro overseas. Bruh. Even from the women that do speak English, they don't call me bro. Bro is something my homeboys call me. Okay, that's a turnoff for a woman to call me a bro. Women overseas tend to have a lot more substance, you know, when they speak. You know, I don't know, maybe it is because we're from different cultures, there's more to talk about. But at the same time, I have ran into a small minority of women in other countries that didn't have a lot to talk about, even though we were from different cultures.
Bro, they're always playing this whack. What is this? Can they just not make his face and the other guy's face 50-50 split screen? Can we not focus on my man? They gotta distract me with some whack shit on the right so I don't pay attention.
But in the United States, I have ran into a lot of women that did not have a lot of substance. Man, I don't know how I forgot these points because I repeated them for 6 months straight.
Yeah, he's got a lot of wisdom and insight for a young man at 23 years old, man, to peer through in the future and see what would his life look like had he stayed here in the United States. Smart. Learn from him.
Here. But I don't know. It's just overall, all aspects.
He said old man is probably picking his nose off camera. Nah, old man's probably fucking calling someone up how to get a passport too. Hearing a young buck at 23 smashing it.
Things that you'd be looking for out of somebody, I found a better chance of finding it overseas.
What are your thoughts on coming back or moving back to America?
He ain't never coming back.
I think moving is out of the question. Coming back to visit, yes, but it'll be another year or so. It'll be, but moving is out of the question. Once you move overseas, it's not just about women too. That's a lot of people don't understand that about the whole movement. Yes, women drove me to go to Brazil because I wanted to meet. I thought I was crazy while I was in the States because I thought something was wrong with me with the results I was getting. I was like, I know I put in enough work on myself to have some better results to at least be satisfied or be visually satisfied with what I'm looking at and what I'm hearing, the people I'm dealing with. But whenever you get down there and you experience how much you can be yourself outside of the country, and then the financial benefits, just the energy outside of the United States is a lot better.
And so do you maintain a U.S. job that's based in another country? How do you maintain that income?
Well, right now I have several streams. So number one, I get a lot of donations, and thanks to the lady that has put me on this platform today. I'm not talking about the lady you work with. I'm talking about the lady that's trying to slander my name right now. She's been giving me a lot of donations as well. I appreciate her negativity. And I'm also a content creator, so I do consultations as well. YouTube, I do Facebook. So I diversify based off my publicity.
Got it. And so what are you going to do now about these people in Brazil, those women who are now, or some of those women who are now angry with you, cause you to leave early, cause you to leave that country early?
There's a lot of other countries in the world that speak Portuguese. Not a lot, but it's not just Brazil. So if it is ruined for me permanently, I mean, I would hate it, but it is what it is. Second, when this is all said and done, like I said, I need an apology to clear up my name for all the people that decide to not even watch the video and come to my comments and talk to me in a very negative, crazy way. There's going to need to be an apology. And from all the news platforms in Brazil that promoted me as this sex trafficker, sex tour. I don't even have a car. How am I going to traffic anybody? I mean, I know you don't have to have a car, but I mean, I don't even have... I don't have any money. Sex traffickers are rich. Last time I checked, I don't even have any money.
Have you ever at any point in dating some of the women outside of the United States given them money?
For food,
But it wouldn't be, in your opinion, exchange.
Blue Baggins, thanks, brother. Been back in the States for 1.5 years, and these American 304s are weird AF and huge. Oh, yeah, they're prepping for a perpetual winter, apparently, dude. Straight bulk mode, never ending.
Exchange for the actual act of sex?
No.
And really quick, I guess this is my last point, because we heard this from some other women. They say many of the passport bros, and this is just what they're saying, that you take advantage of women in some.
Do you see the shifty language they use? It's so cunning, huh? Passport bros member speaks. He's a member. It's a trend, dude. Anybody can self-identify. It's a trend. I have a passport. Are they going to call me a passport bro because I go back to Romania where I was originally born? Am I reverse passport broing it? Jesus Christ.
Instances in third world countries who are very poor, and you are there spending money on them, whether you consider it paying for sex or not. You are taking advantage of these very poor individuals, these women, for the sole purpose of sex. So your thoughts on that?
There may be some men out there that are doing that. That doesn't apply to me and the men I know, because first of all, these women don't ask for much. A lot of people got to remember, this is not the United States. In the United States, women ask for a lot. A lot of U.S. women will put down foreign women and say they're so broke and poor. But the country I was born in is the same country that a woman will call you just to take you on a date, just to eat a free meal. That hasn't happened to me overseas. There always is a minority, or there always is the exception of dudes that may be doing that. But nobody's forcing the women to do anything. Whether if a man is looking for a wife, a girlfriend, a good time when he goes down there, and I'm not talking about paying for a good time either. Uh, those women are on the same page usually. You can get a variety of everything. You know, if you're looking for somebody serious, they're down there too in other countries. If you're looking for somebody that just want to hook up with you, there's plenty of that too.
Got it. Well, Austin, you be safe. Let Brazil cool off a bit before you head back, and we wish you the best, and we thank you for dropping by here on The Factor Uncensored to talk to us.
Thank you for trying to slander my man, for trying to control the narrative, trying to make him seem like he's the bad guy. Thank you for inviting two dodo brains. Yeah, you go, girl. Strong positivity queen. We sure got him. He's so insecure. He's so ignorant. He's such a hater. You don't gotta put us down and call us fat. You don't gotta say you got preferences. Get out of here with that horse shit. You are not found attractive by men, and they're leaving. They don't want to deal with you. You're alone. You have no ring. Nobody cares you got a degree. No man is looking for your salary. You don't have the qualities that men are looking for, so they stepped out of the game completely. Hello, Blue Book. Hello, and goodbye. Must we remind them? Must we?